Hey guys, Final here, and we're gonna go over Kingdom Hearts secrets and facts about the Kingdom Hearts 1 video game. I'm only gonna do this as a short series until I can go back to the manga, because I gotta reread some stuff and put some context and whatnot. But we're gonna go over these really quick, and the first one here is that in Traverse Town, the chimney in the background, if you go over to Sid's shop and you light it on fire, it'll end up emitting smoke from the top, which is why right here is already in flames. If I take it out and use Blizzard on it, and I go back outside, and then I go all the way back to its starting point, and I turn around and look at the chimney, there is no more smoke, as you can see. And I'll put up a side-by-side comparison here just to show you what that looks like. But if we move on and go over to the item shop where Donald's nephews are, if you step on the scale will actually change up Sora's weight. And there's another thing in this room that a lot of people don't mention is that there is a poster that says Riverboat, which is referencing to Timeless River in Kingdom Hearts 2. Same thing in Traverse Town again. If you go up to the hotel room and you go up to this bell and hit it 3 times, he'll say no vacancy. But if you look at the painting that says Autumn to Dusk, and then you go all the way down into the other side of the hallway, and you read out to the other painting, it'll say Midsummer Dawn, and he'll say paintings are great. So you want to go back all the way to him in this disembodied figure, and nobody ever actually comes out. You hit the bell 3 times again, he'll end up saying this, where he says paintings are great. If you ever stay the night, try hitting the clock. And what he's referencing to is that if you go here while Squall and Yuffie are here, you could do it afterwards too, hit the clock this amount of times, and you should hear a first ring, and then after the first ring, you should hear the second ring that an item has spawned in the room, and it will be this chest, and this chest will contain a mithril. You'll probably just need it for crafting. And another thing before going to guard armor to fight him, you could actually go back all the way towards the accessory shop, and Aerith will be standing in front of it for mentioning Donald and Goofy and giving you a mega potion. And another thing within Traverse Town, there's a lot of things here, I apologize. If you start the game and go from the point of getting Donald and Goofy and not looking at a single trinity in the entire game, just passing all of them up, and then this cutscene will appear explaining what they are, the one that's in front of the waterway, you'll end up looking at it, and you could actually phase through the bars before even having the red trinity, and Aerith and Leon will still be here. And you could actually talk to Leon and tell them that you sealed the keyhole, even though you're kind of lying and you're not actually sealing any keyholes because you haven't even left this world yet. But if you do talk to him a second time after this, you'll end up actually getting Earthshine, which is crazy because that means you'll technically get Simba early from this point on. And you also tell him that you have other gummy blocks as well, but you actually don't even have any gummy blocks to begin with. You actually cannot go back up into Merlin's home, which I'll show you here in a second. Walking back behind you, you could actually find the Dalmatians though on the staircase. But if you do go up these stairs, Merlin's platform isn't up there, so you can't actually get up to the top. And finally, we got one more for Traverse Town, and this is the beginning of when Pluto wakes you up. That man up there with the 2 barrels next to him, if you jump onto the roof and then you slide over and jump over to the accessory shop roof, you could actually go behind the frame of where you're not supposed to be in. And there's supposed to be that cutscene that triggers over there. There's actually no music that plays except the stuff that comes from the Moogle and Sora's footsteps. Sid is actually also replaced into the room. I unfortunately don't go in there, but it's the NPC that's supposed to be there at the end game. Luckily, they have actually fixed this. If you walk back into this area, the cutscene will trigger. But before, this used to actually hard lock your game entirely, and you had to start over completely. And another thing that we have over here is actually if you go into Halloween Town and you go up to this area that I'm standing in, nobody really knows about this. This is a very niche kind of glitch. If you jump up against that wall, you'll actually be able to stand on an invisible box and you'll be able to jump up infinitely. and you can go all the way up into the sky and just go on forever. You actually can't reach towards the moon. It just keeps expanding like further and further away if you run towards it. And if you jump back down into the main area or any other area where the swirling tree is or anything, everything will be lower textured, seeing like as the statue is right here. And if you actually go back to the doors, you'll actually fall down from the sky, which is what's supposed to happen, because you're supposed to go through the gate. And that's about it. But another thing over in Tarzan's world, if you hate jumping on these damn vines, if you play the game and instead of actually swinging across it, you just pause and you go to quit, you'll actually come out on the other side where you're supposed to go when you get there. And you can go up to the climbing trees where you need to go and get, Jane and the monkeys and save them. Over here in Hollow Bastion, there's a couple of these. A lot of people, I don't know if they really know about it or not, but it's a speedrunning tactic that I've been using for a very long time, is that you could use Dumbo here when the enemies spawn right in the front of where they just started at. You could take Dumbo and move back to where you came up from and slide up against this wall and dismiss him and jump up on top, and you could actually just glide across. Forgive the fact that I'm using Super Glide because obviously this is endgame, and we actually could use it on this side as well. Let this man summon and come from the heavens, jump up on top of him, and then let all these, enemies get out of the way. And then you can slide up against this pipe and then do 180 and then dismiss him and jump on the ledge and just go through the door to the lift stop. And you'll pretty much just already be at the chapel at this point, and you can just, get out of there and you don't have to move all the other bars and stuff. And another one over in the bottom of the basement when you come with Beast, you could actually freeze the bubbles and jump up to the one that's next to the save point down here. And there's actually supposed to be a chest that's filled with dark matter in there. Forgive the fact that I know that. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have, except for two more that I want to go over that are actually really dark. And I don't even know if anybody even knows about these ones. I feel like anybody that I've talked to doesn't know about this, but you guys might find it interesting. Just forgive me ahead of time because I'm not going to be able to read all of these correctly at all, because I don't know what language these originated from. And if some of these are just plain old English, then I have never heard of it. But these are the books that are found within inside of Hollow Bastion. And this is what Azel means. It means hide eternity in the endless beginning. Or it could actually mean something straight up from the Bible, meaning to hide or to run away from disaster. And why I say hide is because of the original context from the one that's above. The second one is actually pronounced as Hafet and is the name of the biblical figure of one of the three sons of Noah from the flood. And the third one is Kama, which is the heat and rage, is referred to Mercury, the sun god. The fourth one is a Hebrew girl name meaning pleasant or delightful. The fifth one is Naru, and it means in Hebrew to lead or guide to water, which is kind of like the Bruce Lee motif of saying, become water and be water, my friends. Forgive me. The sixth one is Saleg, which means basically to be intertwined. I apologize, I cannot pronounce whatever the hell they were trying to ask me to pronounce later in there. And lastly, number 7 is Theon. And this is the only one that isn't directly from Hebrew in origin, but is somehow actually Greek. And it basically just means the god of the gods, which is really weird because, listen, if you play Dark Road and you see the conversation between Xanor and the Master of Masters, the Master of Masters actually calls himself Theodore as a joke, and I swear to God, if his real name is Theon later and this is the actual meaning behind his name, Nomura has to be one of the best writers ever if that is the case, unless it's just Sora somehow, but still, that is crazy to me. Let me know what you guys think about that. And then finally, the last thing that I want to go over is the invisible enemy. Not only do they depict archangels in biblical terms, they also actually have their sword, and the sword has words on it in kanji, and the words actually mean, "We do not need reality." And keep in mind, this is an enemy that comes from Kingdom Hearts 1, and that's so funny because now we actually are within the real world reality, and wow, that's just how far you could see the writing goes with how Nomura thinks ahead of these things, or either, I don't know, maybe it was just a coincidence, but that's too coincidental for my liking, and I think this is just really, really neat. But that's pretty much all I have, and I just wanted to clock out another video, and I just thought a lot of the stuff was interesting, and I hope that you guys enjoyed it. So I'll just see you guys later, I guess. Final out.